A new Mrs. Kennedy has emerged this trip, a First Lady no longer shy about the rough and tumble of politics. On arrival in Dallas from Fort Worth, she was true to her new form. She plunged ahead of the president into the ecstatic crowds. Some of them caught her glove, mauled her sleeve, even grabbed one of the roses off its stem. There were no hostile signs at the airport crowd, only eagerness for contact with the Kennedys. Then into the open limousine for the motorcade through Dallas. The president had done this thousands of times. He sat on the right, Mrs. Kennedy on the left. Everywhere the crowds were bigger than expected. Dallas authorities were jittery. Security precautions were the heaviest in the city's history. Dallas was determined that its name, smirched round the world by the attack on UN Ambassador Adlai Stevenson last month, would not be dragged through the mud again. There were heavy police forces all along the route. All possible troublemakers had been searched out and warned. All but one. The downtown streets. In the first press bus, we strained to catch any signs of the hostility the Dallas precautions had led us to expect. But all we saw was a vast and friendly crowd, but many thousands of welcome jack signs. It's approaching 12:30 p.m. Dallas time. The crowds in the tall business district are overfilling the sidewalks. Some throw streamers and torn paper in a miniature ticker tape parade. The reporters look at each other. There have been no incidents. At about 12:32, the motorcade turns a corner into a parkway. The crowds are thinner. NBC cameraman Dave Wiegman, in a car ahead of us, takes a passing shot of a building, then 3 shots are heard, like toy explosions. Wiegman jumps from his car, running towards the president with his camera running. People scream and lie down, grabbing their children. I leave the motorcade and run after police who appear to be chasing somebody. The motorcade moves off fast. We don't know it, but the president is mortally wounded in the head and throat. His car races for the hospital. The police find no one and return. Looking for a phone, I go into an office. It's on the ground floor of this building, the Texas School Book Depository. It is not more than 4 minutes after the shooting. Minutes after a man on the 5th floor of the same building has abandoned a high-powered rifle and fled. Waves of police move in. A small Negro boy tells them he saw a man with a rifle in a window upstairs. Witnesses come up. They saw the president hit. One of the witnesses took this Polaroid picture at the instant of the shooting. It shows the president slumped down in the car.
Just as Mary started to take the picture and the president came right even with us, 2 shots, we looked at him and he was looking at a dog in the middle of the seat. 2 shots rang out and he grabbed his chest and a look of pain on his face and fell across toward Jackie, and she fell over on him and said, "My God, he's shot." And there was an interval, and then 3 or 4 more shots rang out. By that time, the motorcade had sped away.
The motorcade reaches Parkland Memorial Hospital. It goes immediately to the emergency entrance. Bleeding profusely and unconscious, the president is lifted onto a stretcher and carried to emergency operating room number 1. Doctors say his condition is grave and moribund, that is, near death on arrival. A senior house physician is in attendance. A professor of neurosurgery and other doctors come immediately. Mrs. Kennedy, untouched by the bullets, is with her husband. Texas Governor John Connally, also seriously wounded, is also in an emergency ward. The doctors try every possible way to save the president. Oxygen is given and anesthetics, a blood transfusion, a tracheotomy, that is, making an opening in the throat to aid breathing. The president's heart stops. External massage was applied to his chest, but no pulse results. A priest is called to administer the last rites of the Roman Catholic Church. At approximately 1 o'clock, the president is dead. The doctors were working too frantically to revive him to notice the exact moment. The press and public do not know the president is dead for another half hour. The only reports available are that he is gravely wounded. At 1:31 Central Time, White House Assistant Press Secretary Malcolm Kilduff tells the press the president is dead.